In the heart of a sprawling national park, surrounded by towering trees and the sounds of chirping birds, lived a dedicated ranger named Jack. He was not just any ranger. He had spent over a decade working in this breathtaking wilderness, where every day brought new adventures and challenges. Jack was known among his colleagues for his deep love and respect for all creatures, big and small. Whether it was a majestic elephant roaming the plains or a tiny bird flitting from branch to branch, he believed that every animal had a role to play in the delicate balance of nature. Jack had an uncanny ability to read the land. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more. And tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. He could tell which paths the animals took by the way the grass bent and how the leaves rustled in the wind. He often spent his free time observing wildlife, jotting down notes in his trusty notebook. Each page was filled with sketches of animals and observations about their behavior. They were not just notes. They were stories of life unfolding in the wild, stories Jack cherished. His passion for wildlife safety stemmed from an early age when he had witnessed firsthand the impact of human actions on nature. Growing up near a forest, he had seen how pollution and careless actions threatened habitats and animal lives. This experience shaped his commitment to protecting wildlife. Jack saw himself as a guardian of these creatures, someone who could make a difference, even if it was just one animal at a time. Every morning, Jack would wake before dawn, ready to embrace whatever the day had in store for him. He loved the quiet moments when the world was just waking up, filled with soft hues of orange and pink as the sun began to rise. He would brew a cup of coffee, take a deep breath of fresh air, and prepare himself mentally for another day in the park. His heart raced with excitement as he thought about the animals he might encounter. Perhaps a herd of deer grazing peacefully, or a family of lions lounging under the shade of an acacia tree. One particular morning, as Jack wandered along one of his favorite trails, he noticed something unusual. The birds were unusually quiet, and he felt an odd tension in the air. With a furrowed brow, he followed his instincts and moved deeper into the woods. As he walked, he listened carefully to every sound around him. Suddenly, he heard faint cries echoing through the trees, a sound that made his heart sink. Rushing toward the noise, Jack soon found himself at the edge of an old well that had long been forgotten. The stones surrounding it were cracked and covered in moss, evidence that it had not been used in years. Peering into its depths, Jack's heart dropped when he saw what lay inside. A baby elephant. The little creature was struggling to climb its way out, but only managed to slip back down each time it tried. Jack's mind raced as he assessed the situation. The baby elephant looked frightened and exhausted, its big brown eyes wide with fear. It trumpeted again, a sound filled with desperation that pierced Jack's heart. Without hesitation, he knew he had to act quickly. The ranger had seen many animals in distress before, but this situation felt urgent and critical. He quickly radioed his fellow rangers for assistance while formulating a plan in his mind. "We need ropes and maybe a harness," he murmured to himself as he scanned the area for anything that could help. He remembered seeing some old equipment stored at the ranger station nearby and sprinted back to gather supplies. As he ran through the park, Jack's thoughts were filled with concern for the baby elephant. He imagined its mother searching frantically for her lost calf while feeling helpless at being unable to protect her young one. The bond between elephants is strong. They are known for their intelligence and deep emotional connections with one another. This thought fueled Jack's determination even more. When he returned to the well with fellow rangers Emily and Sam, They quickly devised a strategy to rescue the baby elephant safely. Working together as a team, they attached ropes securely around a sturdy branch above the well, while keeping an eye on the frightened little one below. Jack spoke softly to reassure it that help was on the way. As they prepared for the rescue operation, Jack couldn't shake off an overwhelming sense of responsibility for this life. He knew that every second counted. They needed to save this precious creature before it became too weak from exhaustion or panic. With adrenaline pumping through their veins, they lowered themselves into action, ready to pull together and save an innocent life trapped in darkness. The sun shone brightly above them as they worked tirelessly, each second feeling like an eternity filled with hope and urgency. In that moment, Jack felt more connected than ever to nature's wonders, knowing that every effort would lead him closer to bringing joy back into this baby elephant's life, and perhaps reuniting it with its family once more. As Jack approached the old well, the air was thick with tension, and his heart raced with an unsettling mixture of worry and determination. The afternoon sun cast long shadows through the trees, creating a serene backdrop that felt completely at odds with what he was about to discover. As he peered over the edge of the well, his breath caught in his throat. There, at the bottom of the dark, moss-covered pit, was a baby elephant. The little one stood on shaky legs, its small body trembling as it tried to gain footing on the uneven stones. Its skin was a patchwork of gray and brown, glistening with sweat under the warm sun. The elephant's large ears flopped nervously as it looked up at Jack with wide, frightened eyes that sparkled like dark pools. The moment their gazes met, Jack felt an overwhelming wave of compassion wash over him. He could see fear etched into every line of the baby's face, a look that tugged painfully at his heartstrings. The little elephant let out a soft trumpet, a sound filled with desperation that echoed off the walls of the well. It sounded like a plea for help, and Jack knew he couldn't stand idly by. "Hey there," Jack whispered softly, crouching down to bring himself closer to eye level with the frightened creature. "You're going to be okay." His voice was calm and soothing in an attempt to reassure both himself and the baby elephant trapped below. The tiny calf shuffled around nervously on its feet, making another attempt to climb out, but slipping back down each time. Its frustration mixed with fear was palpable. It pushed against the walls of the well with all its might, but found no escape route. Jack could see how exhausted it already looked. Its big brown eyes were drooping slightly, as if fighting against sleep from sheer fatigue. Jack's mind raced as he considered how this little one had ended up here in such a perilous situation. Had it wandered away from its herd? Was its mother searching for it right now? The thought sent a pang through his chest. Elephants had such strong familial bonds that imagining this baby alone made his heart ache. He quickly glanced around at the surroundings. Trees loomed tall above him, casting uneven patches of shade across the ground. The well itself was surrounded by thick bushes that had grown wild over time. Perhaps no one had noticed this hidden danger until now. Jack realized he didn't have much time. If they didn't act fast enough, this baby could become too weak or frightened to try escaping again. "I'll get you out," he promised softly again as he began looking for anything nearby that could help him rescue the trapped calf. Just outside of sight lay some old equipment stored away in their ranger station. A harness or ropes might just be what they needed to pull this little one to safety. As Jack stood up again and began heading back toward where he had parked his ranger truck earlier that day, he couldn't shake off images of what must be happening above ground. The baby's herd searching frantically for their lost family member, while unaware of its dire situation below them. His footsteps quickened as urgency propelled him forward. Every second felt precious when an innocent life depended on it. Jack's thoughts were filled with determination, not just for himself, but also for this helpless creature waiting down below in darkness and fear. When he finally reached his truck and retrieved several lengths of strong rope, along with some sturdy tools designed for emergencies like this one, he took a deep breath before returning to where he first found the elephant calf. His fellow rangers, Emily and Sam, had arrived by then after receiving his distress call over radio. "Jack, what did you find?" Emily asked breathlessly as she rushed toward him. "It's a baby elephant," he replied urgently, while motioning for them to follow him back to the well's edge. "It's stuck down there." Once they gathered around together, peering into the depths once more, gasps escaped their lips upon seeing how small and vulnerable it looked against such towering stone walls. "It looks scared," Sam said quietly, as they all shared knowing glances filled with concern for their new friend trapped below. "We need to work together," Jack stated firmly, while pointing out where they would attach ropes securely above, using branches from nearby trees, before lowering them down gently toward their new charge, waiting anxiously beneath them. Time was running out. But hope still flickered brightly within each ranger's heart as they prepared for this crucial operation ahead. As Jack looked down at the baby elephant, a rush of determination surged through him. He knew that every second counted. The little calf was shaking and clearly frightened, and Jack couldn't bear the thought of leaving it there any longer than necessary. The ranger quickly began to assess the situation, mentally calculating what needed to be done to bring the baby elephant to safety. "Okay, first things first," Jack murmured to himself as he scanned the well's depth. It was about 10 feet down, with sheer stone walls rising around the frightened animal. He noticed some stray vines hanging over the edge, but they wouldn't provide anything substantial for climbing. His heart raced as he imagined the struggle this defenseless creature faced. He turned quickly on his heel and rushed back toward his truck parked nearby, adrenaline fueling his speed. "I need ropes, a harness, anything that can help lift this little one out," he said aloud as he rummaged through the supplies inside. His hands moved with urgency while he mentally replayed safety protocols in his mind. This rescue had to go perfectly. Just moments later, as Jack gathered several lengths of thick rope and a sturdy harness, he saw Emily and Sam approaching. They were both panting slightly from their hurry, but looked ready for action. "What's the plan, Jack?" Emily asked eagerly, her eyes alight with concern for the baby elephant. She was always quick on her feet and ready to support any mission undertaken by their team. "The baby elephant is trapped at the bottom of that well," Jack replied quickly, gesturing toward the dark pit behind him. "We need to create a harness system that can securely attach around it while we pull it up." Sam nodded gravely, glancing back at the well with purpose as realization hit him just how serious the situation was. "What do you need us to do?" Jack took a deep breath to organize his thoughts. "Emily, can you find something sturdy we can tie off above? Maybe look for thick branches or a solid tree close by. We need a stable anchor point." He could already see her nodding determinedly before running off into nearby brush. "Sam," he continued as they moved closer to the well's edge together, "once we get ropes attached above and create that harness down there, we'll need multiple people pulling together so that it's safe and steady when it comes up. We don't want to risk hurting it even more." "Got it. I'll help hold steady while you secure everything," Sam replied confidently. While Sam focused on preparing to lower himself into position near the well's rim for safety support, Jack worked quickly attaching one end of their rope around a strong tree branch within reach, ensuring it wouldn't budge under pressure. The weight of such responsibility sat heavily on his shoulders as he contemplated how fragile life could be. As Emily returned, carrying thick branches in her arms, Jack grabbed them from her hands and expertly tied them into a sturdy structure, a makeshift anchor point for their rescue efforts. His fingers moved swiftly. Years of training had honed his skills and instincts as a ranger. Once everything was in place above ground, Jack peered into the well again, where fear still gripped the baby elephant tightly. "Hang in there. We're coming for you," he called softly down below, to comfort it one more time before they initiated their plan. "Okay, I think we're ready," Jack shouted out after completing their preparations above ground, glancing at both rangers gathered behind him, offering fierce encouragement. Their shared commitment igniting hope within each heart present. Slowly lowering one end of another rope down toward Sam, positioned below. Near where they'd create that harness around their little friend felt like an eternity. But they all knew it was crucial for success overall. Finally, securing everything properly into place ensured each step would move them closer towards that ultimate goal: getting this baby back to safety. With determination woven into every fiber of their beings, and fueled by compassion for an innocent life waiting anxiously beneath, they started pulling together in harmony using strength combined with precision, hoping against all odds they could make this rescue mission work. Outside in nature surrounding them felt alive, with everything moving harmoniously around in bright sunlit beauty. While here, they remained focused solely on saving one small creature trapped inside darkness without any hesitation whatsoever. The air was charged with urgency as Jack, Emily, and Sam stood at the edge of the well, adrenaline coursing through their veins. Jack looked down once more at the baby elephant trembling below, its large brown eyes filled with a mixture of fear and hope. "This is it," he said, determination ringing clear in his voice. "Let's get to work." With each step they took, Jack felt the weight of their mission heavy on his shoulders. But he was not alone. The rangers formed a tight-knit circle of support, each rallying together to accomplish what seemed an impossible task. Jack signaled for Emily to lower the rope carefully into the well, while he prepared the harness they had fashioned from thick rope and sturdy branches. "Just make sure it doesn't tangle," Emily called down as she carefully fed the rope toward Sam, who was poised near the edge of the well. Sweat beaded on her forehead from the heat of the sun and the pressure of knowing that every moment mattered. "I'll keep it steady," Sam shouted back, his heart racing with anticipation. He grabbed hold of the rope, feeling its weight as it slipped through his fingers and lowered toward their small friend trapped within. The baby elephant shifted uneasily below, sensing that help was on its way, yet still frightened by its ordeal. Jack knelt at the edge of the well, peering down intently into those dark depths. He saw how exhausted the baby elephant was, clearly worn out from its attempts to escape before they arrived. "Hey there," he called softly, hoping his voice would soothe it. "We're going to get you out. Just hang tight for a little longer." The baby elephant let out a faint trumpet in response, its attempt to communicate somehow both heartbreaking and reassuring. Jack's heart swelled with compassion. He knew they had to act quickly, but carefully. With everything in place above ground, Jack climbed slowly over the side of the well and swung himself into a safe position where he could reach down toward Sam. "Are you ready?" he asked with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Ready," Sam replied as he steadied himself with one hand gripping tightly onto part of the tree trunk nearby. Carefully lowering the harness made from ropes into the depths below felt like an eternity. Each inch seemed to take forever, until finally reaching just above where they hoped to secure it around the little calf's frame. Once they were close enough, Jack reached down slowly while maintaining his balance on a narrow ledge. "Okay, buddy," he whispered gently to calm the baby elephant's nerves as he maneuvered carefully closer to attach it securely around its belly without startling it further or making matters worse. The tender connection made him feel alive, a shared understanding between two beings trying to survive against difficult odds. But just as they secured one side of the harness around its body, disaster struck. Something slipped in his grip. "No!" Jack cried out as panic surged through him. He could see the baby elephant shifting again under this additional stress below while trying not to worsen dangers already facing them all throughout this process. "Hold steady," Emily shouted urgently while balancing their equipment back safely above ground, her heart pounding wildly in tandem with time ticking away alongside fragile hopes hanging precariously by thin threads like those ropes lowering toward hope beneath. Jack clenched his jaw determinedly while getting another swift grip onto that harness, refocusing on keeping calm for both themselves and their little charge, now resting expectantly nearby, waiting patiently amid this chaos unfolding overhead if anything could be done right now. Finally able to secure all parts solidly in place without fail, this time made him feel accomplished yet nervous. Everything depended upon their next steps. The plan needed teamwork more than ever now before them. Risking pulling too hard might endanger what had been achieved thus far. "On three," Jack instructed, as both rangers braced themselves beside him, firmly holding their positions above. Their combined strength would give new life back into those tiny limbs still desperately hanging onto hope inside darkness below. 1, 2, 3. Together, they began pulling steadily upward, inch by inch, as tension filled each second while emotions ran high across hearts present. The fear turned towards unity, forged through compassion, driving them forward toward success despite uncertainty looming overhead, here amidst nature's wild tableau surrounding them all. With every ounce of effort channeled together among friends fighting for something so pure, it felt like magic taking shape. Nature breathed alongside them, urging them onward tirelessly because truly nothing worth saving comes easy. With a collective sigh of relief, Jack, Emily, and Sam finally pulled the baby elephant to safety. As it emerged from the well, its small body gleamed with sweat and dirt. But the light in its eyes began to shine again. The calf stumbled as it regained its footing on solid ground, looking up at its rescuers with a mixture of gratitude and confusion. Jack knelt down beside it, gently stroking its trunk to reassure the trembling creature. "Hey there, little one," he whispered, feeling a surge of joy wash over him. "You're safe now." But a new challenge loomed ahead, reuniting the baby elephant with its herd. "We need to find where its family is," Emily said, scanning the area for any signs of movement or sound that might indicate the herd's location. "Elephants are known for their strong family bonds. We have to get it back to them." Jack nodded in agreement. "Let's start by listening," he suggested. They stood still for a moment, straining their ears for the deep rumbles or trumpets that could lead them to the rest of the herd. The park was alive with other sounds, birds chirping and leaves rustling in the wind. But there was no indication of elephants nearby. "Do you remember which direction they came from?" Sam asked, recalling how they had noticed a shift in animal sounds before discovering the baby elephant. "I think they were heading toward the river," Jack replied after considering their earlier observations. "Let's move quickly before they wander too far away." The three rangers acted as a team once more, moving through the dense underbrush with purpose. Jack took the lead, following his instincts while Emily and Sam kept an eye on both sides for any sign of movement. They navigated through tall grass and thorny bushes, sharing excited whispers about how they would reunite this little elephant with its family. As they trekked forward, Jack felt a mix of hope and anxiety churning within him. He thought about how helpless this baby had been just moments ago, and how crucial it was that they found its herd soon. "Stay close," he instructed his fellow rangers as they approached a clearing near the riverbank. Suddenly, Emily raised her hand to signal them to stop. "Listen," she urged quietly. All three rangers paused and turned their heads intently toward the sound coming from downriver. Low rumbling calls echoed through the trees, unmistakably belonging to elephants. They're close," Sam exclaimed, pointing toward where they could see shadowy forms moving along the water's edge. A surge of exhilaration washed over Jack as he hurriedly made his way toward the sound without disturbing their surroundings. As they got closer, Jack could see adult elephants gathered together near the riverbank, their massive bodies silhouetted against the bright afternoon sun. He recognized several members of the herd from previous encounters. Their distinctive markings were familiar to him. His heart raced as he approached cautiously. He knew they needed to be careful not to startle them. "Let's stay back for now," Jack suggested as they observed from a distance, hoping that instinctively they would notice their missing calf soon enough. The baby elephant stood beside them, anxiously shifting on its feet while looking back toward Jack with expectant eyes. It seemed to know its family was near, yet wasn't sure how to reach them or communicate effectively without fear overwhelming everything else. After what felt like an eternity, one of the adult females lifted her trunk into the air and let out a series of low calls, a deep rumble resonating through the air that echoed off nearby trees. Everyone held their breath as they watched closely. Would this be enough? To their amazement, within seconds, several elephants responded with bright trumpets filled with urgency. The entire herd turned in unison toward where Jack and his friends stood watching closely from behind bushes. Then, all at once began moving towards them. Jack's heart soared with emotion as he witnessed this beautiful moment unfold before his eyes. The reunion was unfolding right before them. With each step closer, he could feel excitement radiating throughout every ranger's body present. All were ready for what came next. The baby elephant suddenly took off running toward its family, calling out in joyful cries while bounding across grass like never before. The adults greeted it warmly, trumpeting loudly and wrapping around their young one protectively while showering it with affection so deep it brought tears to Jack's eyes. With heavy hearts lightened by happiness surrounding them all now together again, nature seemed vibrant once more. Jack shared relieved smiles with Emily and Sam, while knowing that nothing felt quite so rewarding than watching this beautiful reunion take place right here in these wild lands where love binds us across all boundaries. As the baby elephant bounded joyfully toward its family, Jack, Emily, and Sam stood back, their hearts swelling with happiness. However, just as they began to relax, an unexpected turn of events unfolded before their eyes. The adult elephants in the herd had initially been cautious as they approached the area where the rangers were standing. Jack watched closely, his pulse quickening again as he noticed something strange about their behavior. Instead of rushing forward to greet the baby elephant, the adults seemed to pause and gather together in a tight formation, their trunks raised high in the air. "Why are they acting like that?" Emily whispered, her brow furrowed with concern. She peered through the trees to get a better look at the herd. "I'm not sure," Jack replied, feeling a wave of unease wash over him. "It's almost like they're communicating something." As if on cue, one of the larger female elephants began to vocalize deeply, a series of low rumbles emanating from her chest that resonated through the air. The sound was different from what Jack had heard before. It had an urgent quality that seemed to ripple through the herd. The other elephants responded in unison with soft trumpets and low grunts that echoed around them. Jack felt a shiver run down his spine as he realized they might be sensing something amiss. He exchanged worried glances with Sam and Emily as they listened intently to the communication unfolding before them. The tension hung thick in the air. It was clear that these intelligent creatures were trying to make sense of what had happened. Suddenly, one of the younger elephants broke away from the group and moved cautiously towards where their baby had vanished moments ago. The other adults followed suit, but maintained a close-knit circle around their young ones, protective yet curious. "They're worried," Sam observed quietly, his eyes wide with understanding. "They must feel something isn't right." The younger elephant stepped closer to where Jack and his fellow rangers stood hidden among the bushes, but paused when it caught sight of them. Its ears flared outwards, and it trumpeted nervously, a high-pitched sound that sliced through the tension like a knife. Jack held his breath as he watched how swiftly each adult elephant redirected its attention toward him and his friends. An instinctive response driven by both curiosity and caution. It was surprising how quickly they seemed to recognize humans nearby. Perhaps they sensed Jack's intentions were not harmful. "Stay still," he instructed softly, while keeping his hands open and visible, hoping this would communicate peace rather than fear or threat. Meanwhile, Emily leaned forward slightly in anticipation, while Sam whispered reassurances under his breath. They all shared an unspoken bond forged through this shared experience together, witnessing nature's wonders unfold before them. The herd continued moving cautiously toward their missing calf. But instead of immediate joy at finding it safe once more among friends, their demeanor suggested something deeper was at play here. Concern mingled with relief, painted across every wrinkle on their skin, while observing all who surrounded them now. Suddenly, a profound moment arrived. Just when everyone thought there could be nothing but happiness ahead, the matriarch stepped forward dramatically into view, revealing herself among many others present, and let out another series of low calls that resonated deeply throughout every creature nearby. In an instant, something shifted. The atmosphere transformed into a blend of excitement mixed with palpable anxiety. Jack felt it too. Every heartbeat echoed loudly within him as he grasped how significant these moments truly were, evolving rapidly from reunion into something even more extraordinary. As if reading each other's thoughts silently, the matriarch finally turned towards her baby, while raising her trunk high above her head, signaling acknowledgement. This wasn't merely about reconnecting. This was about understanding what had transpired outside their realm during those lost moments apart. With newfound resolve filling every inch surrounding them, together once again, they moved closer toward one another until there remained no distance left separating those who loved fiercely. Moments later, a flurry erupted among them. Joyful trumpets accompanied tender nuzzles exchanged between parent and child alike, thrilled everyone present watching closely from afar. Tears filled Jack's eyes again, this time reflective not just for joy, but gratitude toward nature's resilience, facing challenges beyond comprehension, yet still thriving through strong, unbreakable bonds, illuminating everything around. The unexpected return became an unforgettable testament, celebrating life amidst adversity, woven beautifully across time itself forever. The moment the baby elephant rejoined its herd was not just a physical reunion, and it was a profound emotional connection that rippled through the air and resonated deeply within everyone present, especially Jack. As he watched the adult elephants gently nuzzle their young one, their trunks intertwining in a display of affection, he felt a sense of awe at the bond between these magnificent creatures. Elephants are known for their strong familial ties, and this reunion was a testament to that unbreakable bond. The matriarch of the herd led the way, her wise eyes reflecting years of experience and nurturing. Jack understood that elephants possess an incredible ability to recognize each other, even after extended separations. Their memories are sharp, and they can remember family members and friends for many years, recalling the unique scents and sounds that define each individual. As the adult elephants surrounded the baby, Jack could see how they instinctively communicated with one another. Each low rumble and trumpet conveyed emotions that ranged from joy to relief, showcasing their deep understanding of each other's feelings. Elephants have complex social structures, often forming tight-knit groups where they rely on one another not only for protection, but also for emotional support. This moment illustrated that they were not just animals existing in the wild. They were a family sharing love and care for one another. Jack felt a wave of emotion wash over him as he witnessed this beautiful display of affection. He had dedicated his life to protecting wildlife, but witnessing the raw emotional connection between these elephants was something truly special. It reminded him of the importance of family, friendship, and community, values that transcended species. In that moment, he realized that the elephants were teaching him a lesson about connection and resilience. As the baby elephant received gentle nudges and trumpets of excitement from its family, Jack couldn't help but reflect on his own experiences as a ranger. He had spent years observing wildlife behavior, but seeing this reunion up close felt different. It was personal. He was not merely a spectator. He was part of this encounter, part of their story. The rangers had stepped in to help when the baby needed it most, showing that humans can play a role in fostering connections, even in nature. The herd's behavior also highlighted how elephants grieve and celebrate together. They are known to mourn lost family members with deep sorrow, often returning to visit the bones of deceased loved ones. This demonstrated their capacity for love and loss, making their bonds even more significant. Jack wondered if the baby elephant had felt fear or loneliness during its time trapped in the well. Yet now it was surrounded by its family, safe and loved. As Jack continued to watch the reunion unfold, he became aware of how important it was for wildlife conservation to focus on preserving these connections among animals in their natural habitats. Protecting their environments meant ensuring that families like this one could thrive together. The emotional depth he witnessed reinforced his commitment to advocating for wildlife protection policies. In that moment of joy and relief, Jack understood that this rescue was about more than just saving a single animal. It was about preserving a way of life for the entire herd. Each elephant played a role in their ecosystem, contributing to a balance that benefited all species within the park. The rangers' efforts were intricately linked to maintaining that balance, a shared responsibility among humans and animals alike. As the sun began to set behind them, casting warm hues across the landscape, Jack felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. This day had transformed from one filled with worry to one overflowing with hope and love. The elephants' reunion served as a powerful reminder of nature's resilience, how family bonds can withstand challenges and emerge stronger than ever. Jack shared a glance with Emily and Sam, who stood beside him in silence, equally moved by what they had just witnessed. Their hearts were full as they absorbed this powerful moment, a reminder that life is interconnected and that every effort made to protect wildlife contributes to a greater purpose. With smiles on their faces, they turned to leave quietly, allowing the elephants to enjoy their reunion undisturbed. As they walked away, Jack knew that this experience would forever be etched in his memory. A lesson on love, family, and the importance of nurturing connections in both human lives and the world of wildlife. as the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. A wave of joy swept over Jack, Emily, and Sam as they witnessed the reunion of the baby elephant with its herd. The air was thick with emotion as the elephants trumpeted their excitement, their deep calls echoing through the park. This was not just a return, it was a celebration of life itself. Jack stood back, feeling a profound sense of relief wash over him. The successful rescue had been a collective effort, and now it felt like they were all part of something much bigger than themselves. He could see Emily grinning widely, her eyes sparkling with tears of happiness as she watched the family unit come together. Sam couldn't contain his excitement either. He was bouncing on his feet, unable to hold back his cheers. "Look at them!" Sam exclaimed, clapping his hands together. "This is incredible." The adult elephants surrounded the baby, showering it with affection, trumpeting loudly, and wrapping their trunks around it in a protective embrace. It was a sight to behold. Each elephant seemed to express its joy in its own unique way. One particularly large female began to sway gently from side to side, her trunk raised high as if performing a dance of celebration. The herd was rejoicing in unison, their collective energy electrifying the atmosphere. Jack felt his heart swell with pride. These magnificent creatures had faced a challenge and triumphed together. He exchanged glances with Emily and Sam, who shared his sentiments completely. They had all worked so hard to ensure that this little one would not only escape danger, but also be restored to the safety of its family. "Every animal in this herd matters," Jack said softly as he watched the scene unfold before him. "Today reminds us why we do what we do." Emily nodded in agreement. "It's not just about saving one life. It's about protecting all lives that connect within these ecosystems." Meanwhile, the baby elephant seemed to bask in the warmth of its family's love. It playfully nudged against another young elephant, inviting it to join in a game, a jubilant display that exemplified the carefree nature of youth. Jack couldn't help but chuckle at how quickly joy returned to this little one's spirit after such a harrowing ordeal. As if sensing their observers nearby, some of the adult elephants turned their heads toward Jack, Emily, and Sam for a moment, before returning their focus to celebrating with their young one. It was as if they acknowledged the ranger's role in reuniting them. A silent thank you from these gentle giants that made Jack feel appreciated for his efforts. Hours passed as evening set in, but no one wanted to leave just yet. The atmosphere was filled with laughter and joy among the rangers as they shared stories about their experiences during the rescue. Jack felt lighter than air. Today's success had reinforced their purpose and reminded everyone involved how significant each day spent in nature could be. "Let's take a moment to appreciate this," Emily suggested after some time had passed. She pulled out her camera and captured snapshots of elephants embracing one another, a keepsake for them all to remember this special day. With each click of the camera shutter, laughter erupted among them. It felt good to share this moment together while documenting an event that would forever remain etched in their hearts. Finally, as darkness began to blanket the landscape and stars twinkled overhead, Jack knew it was time for them to head back. He glanced one last time at the herd, the baby elephant playfully chasing after its friends while adult elephants stood protectively close by, contented sighs escaping their massive bodies. "It's amazing how love can bring everyone together," he remarked quietly before turning away from the scene of pure joy. As they walked back toward their ranger station under a canopy of stars, Jack felt hopeful about what lay ahead for both humans and animals alike. Living within these wild lands, intertwined through efforts made daily, each small act contributing toward preserving beauty found throughout nature. Today had been more than just a successful rescue. It had been a celebration, a reminder that life flourishes when nurtured by love and connection, bridging every gap between worlds. As Jack, Emily, and Sam made their way back to the ranger station, the soft glow of twilight wrapped around them like a comforting blanket. The air was filled with the sounds of nature settling down for the night, a melodic symphony of chirping crickets and rustling leaves that echoed the day's joy. Jack took a deep breath, allowing the fresh scent of the earth to fill his lungs, grounding him in the moment. The events of the day played over in Jack's mind like a film reel. From the moment he discovered the baby elephant trapped in the well, to the challenges they faced during the rescue, and finally, witnessing the heartwarming reunion with its herd. Each moment had cemented something deeper within him. The realization that their work as rangers extended beyond mere duty. It was a powerful commitment to protecting life itself. As they walked side by side, the camaraderie between Jack, Emily, and Sam felt stronger than ever. The teamwork they had displayed today reaffirmed Jack's belief in collaboration in the face of adversity. It wasn't just about one person rising up against obstacles. It was about how individuals came together for a shared purpose and pulled each other through difficult circumstances. He reflected on how their combined efforts allowed them to achieve what none could do alone. "Can you believe how quickly that little one bounced back?" Emily said, her voice filled with warmth as she smiled at the thought of the baby elephant's joyous antics. It was like watching a weight lift off its spirit. "It really shows how resilient they are," Jack replied, nodding thoughtfully. "Animals endure so much just to survive, yet they have this incredible ability to recover and thrive when given a chance. It's a lesson in resilience for all of us." Sam chimed in. "Exactly. And just look at how the entire herd responded. Their connection is unbreakable." The trio fell quiet, allowing nature's beauty to envelop them as they continued walking. Jack's thoughts turned more introspective as he considered how this experience had impacted him personally. Each time he witnessed animals displaying compassion and cooperation among themselves, he was reminded that nature is a teacher, not just of survival skills, but of inherent emotional intelligence. Elephants could recognize each other across long distances and remember one another's calls, an instinct that ensured family ties remained strong. When humans respect wildlife and their natural behaviors, it honors those lessons and encourages the delicate balance within ecosystems. Protecting these creatures meant fighting for their habitats, where love flourished not only among families like elephants, but throughout the web of life they shared with countless other species. The day's triumph was proof that teamwork, compassion, and understanding go hand in hand with success in any endeavor. Jack felt more driven than ever to advocate for conservation efforts that protected both wildlife and their environments. This mission was vital, for every elephant rescued or habitat preserved in turn nurtured humanity's connection to the natural world. As darkness fully descended around them, stars began to twinkle overhead. Each light felt like a spark of hope twinkling across an infinite sky. A beautiful reminder that even amid struggles, moments of joy exist to illuminate paths forward. Pausing briefly, Jack took another deep breath and smiled at his friends beside him. Today was incredible. Not just for our success, but for everything we have learned. Wildlife, conservation is about more than preservation. It's about forging connections, understanding our place in nature, and recognizing that every life holds value. Absolutely, Emily agreed as they reached their vehicles parked on the edge of the tree line. It's about creating spaces where both humans and wildlife can thrive together. Sam nodded enthusiastically, experiencing a swell of motivation coursing through him. I can't wait to share today's story with others. It'll make people realize just how interconnected we truly are. Jack beamed at his fellow rangers, grateful for this shared journey and friendship built through their passion for nature. As they climbed into their truck, he couldn't help but feel an immense sense of fulfillment, knowing they had made a difference today, not just for that baby elephant, but for the message they represented. Respect for wildlife is crucial in safeguarding our planet. Driving away from the scene of astonishing beauty behind them under a star-lit sky felt right. An affirmation of purpose resonating deeply as they ventured ahead toward new challenges waiting to be embraced along their path forward together. As Jack, Emily, and Sam drove back to their ranger station, the beauty of the night wrapped around them like a comforting embrace. The stars twinkled brightly above, and Jack felt grateful for the day's events. He reflected on the small yet powerful rescue they had undertaken and how it highlighted the importance of caring for wildlife. This experience had reinforced something that Jack had always believed: that every individual, no matter how small, can make a significant impact. The baby elephant would have faced grave danger without their intervention, but their teamwork and compassion ensured that it could return to its family and thrive in the wild. Jack knew that this lesson extended far beyond their roles as rangers. It was a message meant for everyone. Today showed us that protecting animals is not just about saving lives, Jack said, glancing at Emily and Sam as they drove along the winding paths of the national park. It's about preserving relationships, ecosystems, and the delicate balance of nature. Emily nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. Each creature plays a role in their environment, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. When we protect one species, we help many others too. Yeah, Sam added with excitement. And it's not just about those far-off places in nature reserves. People can do so much right in their own communities, whether it's helping local wildlife or educating others about conservation. Jack couldn't agree more. He knew that many people might feel disconnected from wildlife, believing that conservation was a distant issue separate from their daily lives. But he also understood that every action counts. Whether it's recycling, reducing waste, creating natural habitats in backyards, or even advocating for animal protection laws. These small efforts collectively contribute to a larger movement towards saving wildlife. It's vital for us to inspire others to appreciate what we often take for granted: the natural world surrounding us, he said thoughtfully. Nature has so much to teach us about resilience, empathy, and connectedness. As the truck continued down the narrow road, illuminated by the soft glow of headlights, Jack envisioned what it might look like if more people became passionate advocates for wildlife. Imagine communities coming together to plant trees, clean up local parks, and create awareness campaigns focused on protecting animals in their habitats. Such actions could lead to meaningful change and foster a greater respect for all living things. Every action creates a ripple effect, Jack continued, feeling motivated by his thoughts. If we can spread this message about caring for our planet and its inhabitants, we can cultivate a culture of respect and stewardship. The conversation deepened as they discussed ways to engage their community in wildlife conservation efforts. A public event showcasing local species, educational outreach in schools, or even volunteer opportunities centered around habitat restoration. The ideas flowed endlessly. Each word ignited a passion that fueled their resolve to make a difference. As they finally approached the ranger station, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose within him. This day had been full of challenges and joys. But most importantly, It had reinforced his commitment to protecting wildlife, not just as a ranger, but as an advocate for nature itself. "Let's make sure we carry today's lessons forward," he urged his friends as they parked the truck. "It's up to us to remind others of how beautiful life is when we nurture our relationships with the environment." As they stepped out into the cool evening air, filled with whispers of a night alive with sounds of nature sleeping around them, Jack looked back at the path they had traveled. From the well where they rescued the baby elephant to witnessing its joyful reunion with its herd, it was a reminder that every creature deserves protection and love. Jack felt hopeful as he looked toward the future, a future where humans and wildlife harmoniously coexist. He knew that if this story could inspire just one person to appreciate and care for animals in their own community, then all their efforts would be worthwhile. "Protecting wildlife starts with each one of us," he said firmly as they headed inside the ranger station. "Let's encourage everyone we meet to play their part. Together, we can ensure that nature thrives for generations to come." With hearts full of inspiration and determination, Jack, Emily, and Sam committed themselves to continue sharing this message of respect and care for wildlife, one step at a time. For every small action could lead to monumental change in preserving our precious planet for those who follow.